What's happening? What done happened? What's going on? I don't fucking know. Hey, more light, more dark, more fire, more sparks, more leaves, more trees, more seas, more sharks, more keys, more cars. No, we won't starve. Everything is pure when it's poured from the heart. More guns, more blood, more funds, more drugs, more wars, more lords, more shooting, more scores, more numbers, more boards. Come and climb aboard. Everything is worse when we lead with the sword. I can only judge by your heart what your mouth say. With a grain of salt, I'ma take it for your mouth's sake. Niggas follow greed, ain't no seeds being planted. Cause people never learn till they feeding the planet. Sleeping 6 feet, death is creeping at your doorstep. This feast is far from over, have a seat, don't you toast yet. I got some shit to learn, you grab your keys, cock your burners. This life is so cold, cop you please, stop the furnace. Who's your top earner? Tell that boy to holler at me, wasting all your time. Stop trying to throw your dollar at me, I just want the power. That's what I wanted to talk about. If you could hustle blocks, then blockchains, they shit to squawk about. Come and work for me, I can have you feeding gym.
Police call it a house of horrors. Now live at 5, 2 Georgia men will spend the rest of their lives in prison after being convicted of adopting 2 young boys, then sexually abusing them. The 2 men from Walton County were just sentenced to 100 years without parole. The district attorney's office spoke on the horrific nature of the crimes, writing, quote, "Those involved with the investigation and prosecution of this case will never forget what they had to see and hear in the case."
You know what I find interesting about this? I don't know how many of you noticed this case, but this case came across my timeline. And I do remember the indictment, the original indictment. I remember these 2 getting caught up. But I don't remember it being reported everywhere. Like, I don't remember it being a big deal. And still, even right now, even with them all having admitted to the crimes, having admitted what they did to these kids, this gay couple has not seen a level of visibility that I would expect them to see. For a case like this, I understand why P. Diddy and Jay-Z, I understand why they get the coverage they do. Obviously, they're celebrities, right? But what I don't understand is why people like this don't get more coverage. This was the longest news snippet. Aside from the little piece at the beginning of this video, this was the longest news snippet that I could find on the internet. And it's just a little odd to me, because you would think that something as big as this would have a lot more visibility across news networks, but it's not out there. It's not out there like that. I swear to God, if you go on Google and you type it into your little box, you're not going to see much news coverage on this at all. It's little 1-minute snippets, little 45-minute snippets, little 30-minute clips here of them talking about the case. They don't have these guys out in the media. They don't have these guys out front and center talking about what they did. They don't have any of that. There's almost no visibility to this case, and it's just very strange to me. It's very strange to me. I understand that we want to parade around Diddy and all the big names because they're celebrities. I get that. But why are we not plastering these faces across news media networks as well? A gay couple who adopted 2 kids and then proceeded to abuse them for years and years and years. Not only did they abuse them, but they were literally selling these kids off into sex rings. They were prostituting children. Why is this not a huge deal? When they admitted to the crime, it's not even a matter of guessing or wondering whether or not they actually did it or not. They already admitted to it. So here is, I had to pull this up on People of all sources. Jesus Christ. This is where we are. So these 2 idiots here, William and Zachary Zulak, they were a married gay couple. Married gay couple. A lot of y'all, I know a lot of people that think, a lot of the comments were, I would rather kids be adopted by a gay couple than to just be somewhere living with anybody. Yeah? All right. For some reason, y'all think that these type of couples aren't capable of committing heinous acts and heinous crimes. But all right, let's get into it. That's William there on the left, this fool right here, and this is this nasty demon right here on the right, Zachary. You can just literally see the devil in his eyes right here. But this is what you're dealing with out here. So it says a Georgia couple was sentenced to 100 years in prison without parole after adopting 2 boys and sexually abusing them. Let's clap it up for that. Let's clap it up for the 100 years. Let's clap it up for them never seeing the light of day again. Let's clap that up. We gotta clap that up, right? So it says William and Zachary Zulak will each spend the rest of their lives behind bars after pleading guilty to aggravated sodomy, aggravated child molestation, incest, and sexual exploitation of children. Each were sentenced on December 19th. The couple was arrested in Walton County, GA, in 2022 after a suspect in a child sexual abuse material investigation claimed that he had received explicit photos and videos from Zach Zulak, the Alkavy Judicial Circuit District. So this is how they got caught, right? And the details in this, if you paid attention to the clip at the beginning of this video, one of the things it said was that this couple, they were literally bragging about what they were doing on Snapchat. At one point, one of these men said, okay, I'm about to go basically bust down my son. He said that in a Snapchat. That was reported. So he was operating in rings and around people because it wasn't just them. It was a whole ring of them. It was a whole ring of them. I was running this crazy, this insect. I don't understand why this doesn't have more visibility, but let's get back to it. Based on the tip, because this other dude was arrested, that's how they got found out. Another dude was arrested. He was being investigated for crimes, right? So they ended up going into his house and basically questioning him, bringing him down to the station. Yo, what's going on? And so they get him down there, they interrogate him, and he starts singing like a bird. And that's how these two get investigated. But we're going to get more into that because I want y'all to hear just how bad this was. Based on the tip, police searched the couple's home where they discovered that the 2 men had adopted the 2 victims. Prosecutors say both admitted to abusing the boys over a period of time. Here's the interesting part right here. After seizing several devices from the home, police found 7 terabytes of video, including multiple instances of the defendants abusing the victims, as well as cell phone photos and videos of the abuse. Do you all know just how, I don't know how tech savvy everybody is who's watching this, but do you know how much data 7 terabytes worth of abuse and content is? 7 terabytes worth of video footage of them abusing these children and having them do heinous acts. 7 terabytes. I do want to read this part because this was basically a claim made by one of the people who were investigating. He says, these 2 defendants truly created a house of horrors and put their extremely dark desires above everything and everyone else. District Attorney Randy McGinley said in a statement, however, the depth of the defendant's depravity, which is as deep as it gets, is not greater than the resolve of those that fought for justice and the strength of the victims in this case. I feel sorry for these 2 boys. So then it said, investigators then searched the Zulak's home, where they lived with 2 young boys they adopted a few years before. During an interview, both men admitted to sexually abusing the children, the district attorney's office said. Law enforcement reviewed 2 weeks of footage from the home's interior surveillance cameras, which showed several acts of abuse in different parts of the house. Their cell phones also had graphic material and text and social media messages about the abuse. So they was just out here wilding. They didn't care who saw, they didn't care what media outlet they put it on. They didn't care what kind of visibility they got from what they were doing. They did not care at all. They were operating under there was no duress anywhere. Total free. They were totally free. They felt free as a bird to do whatever it is that they was doing. That's how much. And again, I don't understand how this hasn't gotten more visibility. I don't get it. A cell phone review found that Zach had sent messages to Luis Vizcarro Sanchez about the abuse. Sanchez pled guilty to pandering for a person under 18 after also pleading guilty to stealing computers from his workplace, a Kroger in Loganville. He was sentenced to 16 years with the first 15 to be served in prison. Man, throw all these motherfuckers away. Just throw them all the fuck away. Give them all the needle. Put them in a chair. Put them out. Get them away from humanity. I think these two boys are going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives. They're going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives from what these two idiots have done. They ran a whole ring. They ran a whole ring of prostituting children. They said that this dude was prostituting. He was basically selling his sons, his adopted sons, to other grown men and other people who wanted to do things to them. I think that these types of people should be put in the ground. There is no need for them to take up any more tax dollars, eating food, being paid for it, having a room and board paid for. No, you go ahead and put them right where they belong. Go ahead and put them right where they're. Why we gotta pay for them? Why should the people have to fund them still being alive through the system? No. Put them where they belong. Put them right underground where they belong. Put them right underground where they belong. This is the worst of the worst. These are the charges that they ended up charging them with. William Zulak, 6 counts of aggravated sodomy, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children, and other sexual offenses. Zachary Zulak, 2 counts of aggravated sodomy, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, 2 counts of sodomy, 3 counts of sexual exploitation of children, 2 counts of pandering for a person under 18, and other sexual offenses. These dudes are the worst of the worst. This is the bottom of the barrel trash, just the nastiest types of humans that you could ever come across. And y'all be supporting them because, they're just so happy. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The mental instability is on full display here. Says William pleaded guilty to all the crimes in August. In October, Zachary also pled guilty to every charge except one, which he was found guilty of after a bench trial. When the GBI's Exploitation and Computer Crimes Unit contacted deputies about a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The tip was about suspected homemade child sexual abuse material that was uploaded to a Google account and connected to an IP address in Walton County. Deputies searched the home associated with the IP address and found Hunter Lawless. This is how they got caught right here. This dude, this nasty motherfucker right here. This is how they got caught. Hunter Lawless. This was the computer. This was the IP address that they ended up following through, and that led them to these two demons. Hunter Lawless, who admitted to the crime and said he received the material from Zachary. Lawless pled guilty to sexual exploitation of children and was sentenced to 20 years, and the first 12 to be served in prison. Nope, give him the same sentence that they got, because he was right there with all the shit. He was right there with the devils. He was right there with them the whole way. And he would not have came forward and said anything if he hadn't been found out. He would have kept silent. He would have kept completely silent. Nope. 20 years is not enough. I don't care about how uninvolved he was with the actual crime. You helped exploit these children. Give him the same sentence that y'all give him 100 years to. None of these men should see the light of day ever again.